Hey there, Seb Frey, the Realtor here, and thank you for joining me on this e-bike tour of Seascape in Aptos. And Seascape is like a newer subdivision. It's sort of like lumped in there with Rio Del Mar on the multiple listing service. They call it Seascape Rio Del Mar, but Rio Del Mar is the older neighborhood dating back to the 1930s, and Seascape is a newer development dating to, 60s, 70s. Most of it was built out in the 70s and 80s. And the key feature here is Seascape Resort. It's a condotel project, so you can buy rooms or suites really rather, at the Seascape Resort. Every room has an ocean view, and it's very nice. You can only live there 90 days out of the year. It's a condotel. Special financing is required. Great property, love it there, and they have a wonderful restaurant called Sanderling's, and I frequent Sanderling's. Sanderling's is not the best food, although the resort was sold like a year or two ago, maybe 2 years ago now, and the new owners have improved the food. I mean, it's still not world-class cuisine, but it's certainly very palatable, I find, and the view at Sanderling's is spectacular. Definitely worth going there around sunset or any time during the day. All right, well, over here on the left, we have the Seascape Village, and that is a little shopping center, and there's not too much shopping going on in the Seascape Village shopping center. Oh, by the way, I'm on Seascape Boulevard right here, by the way, which is sort of the main drag through Seascape, and I'm going to go into the Seascape Village. We're just going to take a quick peek through there, since it's one of the defining characteristics of the neighborhood. And up on the right, though, we have the Seascape Sports Clubs, like a health club. They have like tennis courts, and they actually play like a tennis tournament there every year. And they got the swimming pool and the weight room and all that kind of stuff. But let's go down now into Seascape Seascape Village shopping center. I'm blanking what they actually call it right now, but they don't really have too much shopping in there, but there are a number of restaurants, and there's a tap room right there, and coffee shops and pizzerias. There is a small little market. The Seascape Market is there, and you can buy your essential dry goods there, and sandwiches and stuff like that at the Seascape Market. But we also have Village Host Pizza, very, very famous pizza place if you live in Aptos, because it seems like every sports team I've ever been on for the kids, they always went to Village Host Pizza for pizza at the end of the season, and they have a lot of parties there for kids. They still have some of those stand-up arcade games from back in the day. So now we're sort of cruising around the back of Seascape Village Shopping Center. And not much to see here. And there's some offices back here as well. Actually, I think that pretty much it's mostly occupied. I don't think there's a lot of vacancies here. But going down here, we do have Palapas on the right. Palapas is a very famous Mexican restaurant here. I think the food in Palapas not very good, but they do have a nice outside deck and a good view of the ocean. Not as good as you get at Sanderling's, actually nowhere near that good, but it's not a bad place, Palapas. Just if you're looking for some, really high quality Mexican food, you're not going to find it there. But I guess it's a good place for drinks and that kind of stuff. And they have unlimited chips and salsa, which, hey, who really needs unlimited chips and salsa? That's a lot of carbs. I actually recall their chips and salsa being that great. So I don't go to Palapas actually very often, now that you mention it, but it's there. It'll do in a pinch. So I'm going back up Seascape Boulevard again, and I can share some stats with you. About good old Seascape. Now this is just Seascape. I'm going to give you the stats for only Seascape, not Seascape Uplands, which is a gated community kind of at the top of the community. And then I'm not going to give it to the Seascape Beach Villas. So the Beach Villas are this also gated community, sort of the bottom of Seascape, and those are all much closer to the ocean and much more expensive than Seascape in general, because every single one of those, I think, has an ocean view. So just for a Seascape, ordinary, everyday Seascape. So, right now it's November 1st. Today's November 1st. I recorded this about 10, 11 days ago here on October 20th. But as of today, November 1st, 2022, there have been 20 single-family home sales in Seascape. There have been some townhouses, obviously, and condo sales as well, because there's a number of townhouses and condos, but I'm only looking at single-family dwellings. 20 sales year-to-date, so that's 10 months out of the year. And the average sale price was $817 per square foot. The average lot size of homes that have sold so far this year, 7,617 square feet. And the average home, by the way, 2,239 square feet. Now, I just took a left onto Dolphin Drive, so I'm heading up Dolphin Drive. Dolphin Drive is one of the other, major roads, as it were. There's Seascape Boulevard and Dolphin Drive, and so this is Dolphin right here. And it sort of connects back over to Sumner on the other side, and Sumner will take you down to Rio Del Mar, the older subdivision. So we just took a cruise up Dolphin Drive, and I believe we're going to go see a house up here. I think that's why I'm driving up here. But okay, so back to my real estate stats. 2,239 square foot average single-family home size sold so far this year. Now, guess how long it took for these homes to sell so far this year in Seascape? Well, I'm going to tell you. You probably don't know. 18 days on market. It takes 18 days for homes that sold to sell in Seascape so far this year, and that's pretty close to the county average, I would say. The average year built of homes in Seascape so far this year, I think a pretty typical year, in many respects anyway. The typical home that sold this year in Seascape, built in 1978, so that very much reflects the age of the subdivision, built in the 1970s and the 1980s. Now, one interesting statistic here is the sale to list price ratio. It seems that in Seascape so far this year, homeowners have only been receiving 95% of full asking price. That means they're taking 5% off the listed asking price, not even the original asking price, the listed asking price, the asking price at sale. So that's a pretty big little haircut, if you ask me. 5%, my goodness. All right, so now we are going to see the first home on our real estate tour here. This is on a cul-de-sac, and it's off of Dolphin Drive, this cul-de-sac, and nice and quiet. And here we go. We're going to pull up to it right now. Go ahead, check this one out here. This house here is 137 Lagunitas Court, sold for $1,825,000. It's 2,605 square foot home, sold for $701 per square foot. Was on the market for 50 days. 50 days, built in 1977. Good sized lot. It's 11,935 square feet, which is a little more than a quarter acre. And 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, and as you can see from the pictures, they're a little dated. Most homes in Seascape are in fact a little dated. Actually, that one looks pretty much original, so maybe it's a lot dated. So let's see, built in 1977 until now. That makes it 45 years old, so there you go. All right, well, now we're going back down Lagunitas, and we're going to be heading back down onto Dolphin. And it's kind of this video actually not that exciting. I guess it's mostly just a tour of Dolphin Drive and Seascape Boulevard, but that's okay. All right, so where was I with my stats? Okay, so the median single-family home price so far this year in Seascape, $1,825,000 median home price. That's where half the homes were more expensive and half the homes were less expensive. And this is actually interesting here. The average sale price in Seascape so far this year, $1,810,000. So the median is higher than the average. That's interesting. So what that means, I think, I'm not a mathematician, but I do believe that means there's a higher preponderance of homes selling below that median. than above that median. I don't know. I guess there's not that many homes above. I don't know. It's unusual because normally in Santa Cruz County the average price is way higher than the median price. So, but here I think this actually, to tell you the truth, this might be the first time when I've ever been looking at stats here in Santa Cruz County that I do see the median above the average, although not very much above the average. Okay, we're crossing Seascape Boulevard again, and we're pulling up to another interesting property right here. This guy right here is 1874 Seascape Boulevard. It sold for $1,675,000. Kind of on a busy intersection there. Dolphin and Seascape Boulevard, kind of the busiest intersection in Seascape. Sold in 13 days on market. It's a 2,472 square foot house. Sold for $678 a square foot, built in 1976. Not a very big lot, 6,578, but it's kind of set up as like a virtual duplex. It has like a built-in granny unit in there, which is why you saw pictures of 2 kitchens, which is nice, right? So they could probably rent out half of it for $2,500, $3,000 a month, something like that, and that's quite a bit of a mortgage helper. Okay, so now here we are. We're just trolling through, Seascape. Welcome to it. This is like a typical neighborhood. This looks like very suburban American neighborhood. Nice wide streets and sidewalks. It's interesting because when you look at Rio Del Mar, for example, the older subdivision right next door, there are no sidewalks, or very few sidewalks. Only a few sidewalks here and there, but all throughout lovely Seascape there are sidewalks everywhere. So that's nice. Also, the streets are nice and wide. So right now we're going down to the end of this place here, and we're going to look at a single-family home, but this is really more like a PUD. It's not called a townhouse. It's called an actual single-family home, although it looks a lot like a townhouse. I believe it's a single-family attached house. So it kind of feels like a townhouse, but it's not. Has $100 a month HOA dues on this guy right here. 2155 Penasquitas Drive. Sold for $1,080,000. It's a 1,525 square foot home. $708 per square foot, built in 1983. Sold in just 2 days on market. But look, it's got a small lot, only a 2,919 square foot lot. But look, it's like, what is that, 3 blocks from the beach? I mean, like 3 blocks from the beach for $1,080,000 for 1,500 square feet. It's quite a deal, if you ask me, for living so close to the beach in Santa Cruz County. So, well, you know what, folks? That's about it. That's the end of our tour here, pretty much. Thank you so much for joining me on this walk around Seascape. I do appreciate it. And anytime you got a question, or you want to see any properties in Seascape, or you're thinking about selling a home in Seascape, please do give me a call, 408-548-7348. Thank you so much, and I really look forward to hearing from you.